Theater, and for our inaugural Catapult Outdoor Accelerator. We appreciate you supporting, folks. My name's Anthony Poponi. I'll be your MC tonight, and I also will be helping with our panel that we have coming on stage here in just a little bit. So we'll moderate that conversation that's going on. Format for tonight is kind of fast and furious, and so if you don't have time to ask the questions that you want, stick around with us, because at the end of the evening, we have 3 tables in the back that each of our founders will be hanging out at. You can go talk to them, ask them questions, something deeper, something you can't ask them on stage. Keep it professional. Thank you for laughing. That's good for you. Keep laughing tonight. But talk to them. And I should tell you, I have another role. This is the 3rd Accelerator cohort that I've worked with from the ICE Lab at Western. And I've had a chance to work with now this group, and I'll be working with a group that starts on Monday. I'll start with them on Tuesday, actually, of next week, helping them with pitch training. So the folks that are coming out tonight, all of them have other careers. None of them are professional speakers. So be kind to them. Can we all do that? Yeah, that's good. So be nice, give them a big round of applause when they come on stage, when they come off stage, because we want them to feel really good. We want them to carry the energy that you have and bring that out via amplified sound. The other thing that you should know tonight is that please don't call me Tony. My name is Anthony Poponi. Go ahead and do Tony. Poponi, and that's what happens, right? Everybody laughs at it. And some of you right now are doing the Tony, Poponi, banana. Yeah, middle school was really hell. And I asked my parents, I was like, hey, why Anthony and then Poponi? And they were like, well, we didn't think anybody would use your nickname. Yeah, who uses nicknames? Thanks, parents. So I learned to be really fast on my feet. So now you know me, and let's do this. On the count of 3, let's hear all of your names. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It is really nice to meet you all. And where we suffer there and not getting to know each other deeper, it was pretty efficient. And if you're from Colorado or you live here in Colorado, tell me on the count of 3 where you live now. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that sounds really lovely. Can I come there? Because right now it's literally snowing, I think, in Crested Butte again, and that's my hometown at 9,000 feet. And it's so lovely to be in Boulder right now, where it's really lovely weather. And I rode yesterday at White Mountain Ranch, and I'll tell you about that later. The bar is open. We'll leave that open all night, so grab those if the jokes are starting to fade a little bit. That really could help you a little bit, bringing them back up. Thank you for being here, though. I appreciate people that are out supporting entrepreneurs. We have to be supportive of each other in this situation. It's really hard. Small business owners, where are you out there? Yeah, we've got a few of you out there. I appreciate what you all do. But our brains like this, and we have these kind of small and ancient mammalian brains. This is what they look like. This is an actual X-ray. I only got 1 laugh on that, but I got 1 really good laugh. Thank you for that. I think that was one of Marge's sisters, wasn't it? That's pretty close. You should be taking a drag on a cigarette and talking like this. But our brains like this. Our brains like being around other people. We like being in groups that are like us, that we can trust, that have some similar interests. So take a chance tonight when we get done. Stick around for a drink. Meet some of the founders. Get to know each other a little bit, too, because part of this is getting to know each other and networking. And our bodies and our brains really like that. And I'll tell you just a little bit about why our brains also like community and like the fact that we have tribes here, is because we like to be in situations where we are finding in the places where we live the things that we would like out of those places, right? And if they're absent, we usually can feel that. We can usually tell that there's something missing there. And there's 3 books. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what they do and what they talk about, because if where you live is not supporting you, and tonight's theme is entrepreneurship, think about how that community maybe isn't fostering that within the community. I think about this all the time where I live in the Gunnison Valley. That's Gunnison and Crested Butte, Mount Crested Butte, where CBMR is, Crested Butte Mountain Resort. And think about these communities, the couples that come in, right? One of them works at Western Colorado University, 5th name change in 6 years. I'm kidding, it's like the 3rd. But they come in and one of them is a professional professor and the other is not. And I know that if that other person doesn't find what they are looking for in that community that really lights them up as a career, we're going to lose them over time. And that's a real shame, because that's breaking the social fabric of our community, and we'd really love for them to stick around. So this talks about the different phases of your life. Richard Florida's work talks about what you're looking for when you get out of college, what you're looking for when you're thinking about having kids, what you're thinking about for your next step in your career, and also what you're thinking about when you retire. And hopefully you understand those things, because, coming up soon, is hopefully you love the place you live. And if you love the place, it's about emoting a feeling. And when I come to Boulder, especially this time of year, when it's literally scraping 4 inches of snow off my car last week, I come down here, I get to put on flip-flops, get to go to a bunch of different university downtown that's bigger but not too big. Feels really good. Really great access to trails. Those are all things that make us feel a certain way about our towns, and that's what Richard Florida explores. And the final one is called Blue Zones of Happiness. Has anybody heard of this book and this work? Blue Zones of Longevity is the first book that came out by Dan Buettner. He talks about the places on Earth where the people are the happiest. And it's not because they're trying to be the happiest in those places, it's because those places make them the happiest. And he looks at all over the world. Number one in the World Happiness Index this year, what was the country? Who said it? Denmark. Denmark was last year. This year was? Norway. So really close up there. This is not a political diatribe, but those places have really vibrant, strong social safety networks, and that was the common theme there, that people can actually explore the next level of Maslow's hierarchy because they don't have to worry about falling and breaking their hip and never getting back up from that, financially or otherwise. And the US, in that index, where were we last year? This year? The number's between 1 and infinity. We were not number 1, that was Norway. We were close, 25 was the number down here. We were 19th overall. So we have some work to do here in the US. GDP is one measure of happiness for sure, but after a certain point, it doesn't bring us further happiness. And when I think about these two communities, then Crested Butte is that's our tourism association that supports this project here tonight as part of the Ice Lab, I think about the difference between those two communities. And as a person that travels to do public speaking all the time, I'd love to do more of that in my valley, but we're the 5th largest county in Colorado, and we have 16,000 people. Our mountain biking is fantastic. 700 miles of single track trails that you can't get in many other rural places. Now, Colorado and a lot of other places are really amping up their recreation values because we understand that brings people to our communities. But if I think about where my career might be best served, maybe it's on this side of the screen over here in Boulder because of the access to all the things that are happening. You have a beautiful entrepreneurship ecosystem, and we're trying to replicate something similar that brings these great, incredibly creative people to our community, and we want to keep them there. So we're trying to steal your entrepreneurs tonight. Don't tell anybody else. Okay, good. So let me tell you about where we're going tonight. This is a rough agenda for what we're doing. So you're going to get some insights, an intro from the Ice Lab. That's Innovation, Creativity, and Entrepreneurship that's hosted at Western Colorado University. 2 of our partners from this Catapult program are going to come on stage. They're going to share a little bit about why they're involved in this program and why it means a lot to their businesses. 3 founders are going to give their pitches. We're going to give a nice warm-up to them. I'll show you how to do that later. And then at the end, I said this before, but we'll have founder booths in the back. And then if you have a few drinks and you get a little bit lubricated, you're feeling pretty good, we're going to go outside and we're going to flip and burn a car in the parking lot. And you want to talk about bringing a group of people together that are just like, we can't do this, there's no way we can do this, and that thing rolls over, and then that first burst of flames goes to the sky, and the tears just fall down. It's a beautiful moment, so stick around for that. All right, everybody knows we're not really doing that, right? Because I gave this talk at a pipe fitters union in North Carolina, big brawny kind of welding guys, and 3 or 4 of them were waiting in the parking lot for me afterwards, and they're like, let's do this! Had their own can of gasoline, and I was like, going to tell them it was a joke, and I was like, these guys are going to kill me if we don't do this. So the 4 of us flipped a car. It was a beautiful moment. All right, kidding. We're done with that. So I'm happy to bring on stage next, new to the Ice Lab Accelerator program, so the Ice Lab program at Western Colorado University. This is our assistant director. Please give a warm round of applause to Darcy Perkins.
Welcome to the Boulder Theater. I'm Darcy Perkins. I'm the assistant director at the Ice Lab, and on behalf of the entire Ice Lab team, I want to welcome you all and thank you for being here tonight. The Ice Lab is proud and honored to be a part of this inaugural Catapult Outdoor Accelerator, and we are excited to present to you 3 founders who are revolutionizing the way we're going to experience the outdoors. The Ice Lab is located on the college campus of Western Colorado University. It's an entrepreneurial hub that includes co-working space, accelerator programs, incubator programs, and matches a team of mentors with local, regional, and national businesses to help them grow strong. The Ice Lab strives to build economic stability and diversity in rural Colorado because we know strong businesses build strong communities. We couldn't be here tonight without the incredible support of some very important partners. The Ice Lab would like to thank Active Interest Media, the Outdoor Industry Association, Moose Jaw, Holland and Hart, and outdoor retailers for their commitment to innovation and opportunity in the outdoor industry. We'd also like to extend our gratitude to Beth McKeon and Kevin O'Rourke of Fluent, who have been working with this cohort for weeks and helped them prepare for tonight's pitch event and also their businesses for the future. But most importantly, I want to thank the 3 founders that are here. It takes an extraordinary amount of courage to take an idea and make it a reality. It takes time, it takes commitment, it takes the willingness and the perseverance to fail over and over again until you get it right. But most of all, and probably most difficult, it requires the ability to be honest with yourself. Benjamin Franklin said, "How few there are who have courage enough to own their faults, or resolution enough to mend them." These founders you're about to see have been working day in and day out to look at themselves and their business models, to find the flaws and to mend them so they can bring their inventions to the world. That takes courage. So I will leave it at that, and thank you for being here, and I'm going to hand it back to Tony Paponi.
Thank you, Darcy, for all of your words until the final 2. That was really great. Darcy's been really fun to be around and to work with these groups. She's really invested in their success, and I'm excited to see what comes next with the Ice Lab. So the next thing I'm going to read you when I introduce Mr. Sam Edwards, coming to us from Holland & Hart, is a description of a family environment at a law firm. Do those sound like they belong together? No, they don't, but listen to this. So Sam has been at Holland & Hart. He started as a summer clerk. Now he's been with the firm for 15 years and is now a partner. Can we give him a round of applause for making partner? Hopefully that round of applause will make a sizable contribution to our next Accelerator program. But he talks about how it's a team-oriented, respectful approach they take towards practicing law, making sure their clients stay happy always comes first. But he wanted to acknowledge that each of us has a life and family outside of his work as well. And I'm sure that's led to the retention of him being there for 15 years. So I'd like to bring on stage right now, please give him a round of applause, Mr. Sam Edwards.
Thanks, Anthony. I'm very excited to be here and cannot wait to hear all the pitches and learn about the innovative products and businesses that GEARO, Hustle, and Geyser are working on. Holland & Hart's Recreational and Outdoor Equipment Industry Practice Group is sponsoring this event because we are thrilled to help support and showcase the ideas and talents of up-and-coming companies. Many of you, I'm sure, have heard of Holland & Hart. Today, we're a big firm with offices in 8 states, plus DC, and more than 400 lawyers serving big and small companies across the country. But we started out a lot like the companies here today. H&H was founded in Colorado in the 1940s by Joe Holland and Steve Hart, 2 young lawyers who rebelled against the stuffiness of the legal establishment of the day. They wanted to make legal work more accessible to people, to make contracts that could be read by the average person, and to make a law firm that focused more on working hard and producing quality work than about who you know. It also happens that both Joe Holland and Steve Hart were avid outdoorsmen. Mountain climbers, anglers, hunters, and skiers. They were Western men, holding the Rockies close to their hearts. Of Steve's mountaineering career, one of Holland Hart's early partners said, "He taught himself, and then he taught me, and then he taught the rest of us the art of climbing, including the use of friction, balance, and pressure involved in scaling difficult rock, the art of finding a feasible route, the need for safety at all times, and the continuous observation of the shortest way home." These mountaineering concepts also served as important guiding principles for Steve's legal career and for Holland & Hart. Steve and Joe's idea, hopefully like the ideas we'll hear tonight, took hold. The firm now has offices across the Mountain West, including Utah, Montana, Alaska, Idaho, Wyoming, Nevada, New Mexico, and Colorado. All places where you would be wise to invest in some good outdoor gear. As you can tell from the history of the firm, Holland & Hart and its lawyers have the mountains, the West, the outdoors in our blood. Our firm is one of the first in the industry to create a recreational outdoor equipment group that to help provide the right expertise to outdoor brands in the industry. We've worked with a number of brands over the years, doing everything from financing to sophisticated trademark portfolio management and patent strategy. advising companies on various import and export tariffs and regulations. So when the opportunity came along to sponsor Catapult, it was a no-brainer for us. Holland & Hart lawyers have a reputation for doing things a little differently, for being happier and better rounded. American Lawyer, a well-known legal publication, said about us, they like to put in an honest day's work, but they still like to leave time to ski, hike, and fish, and to enjoy life outside of the office. This event and sponsorship gives us an opportunity to work with exciting, growing companies, but also to support companies that make life outside our offices better, more fun, more accessible, and safer. We're thrilled to be here and to help these hardworking entrepreneurs as they move to the next phase, helping all of us make life outside the office a little more fun. I want to thank all of you for coming tonight and joining us in showcasing GEARO, Hustle, and Geyser. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Anthony. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. I really appreciate the story there that he had to tell, and just kind of getting a feel for the complexity of what's going on here. And we run into this all the time. And I think that's really, when I think about the accelerator programs and the incubators that we do, it's not just about what they're doing to kind of move the project forward to completion. It's about avoiding that one thing in the middle that would have killed the project had you not thought about it. And I don't think anybody wants to spend a ton of their fees towards lawyers, but if it can kill an otherwise amazing idea, it's worth the investment of thinking about going to professionals that can keep you out of those pitfalls. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce John Dorn. He is AIM's Chief Innovation Officer and part of the original meetings of the Catapult Outdoor Accelerator. So we need to express our gratitude to him for that. He oversees AIM's creative and marketing services, including our AIM's Studios Video Division, Catapult Creative Labs Agency, which is online education programs and digital platforms. And he's been the president of the Active Living Group, formed in January of 2019, and he's responsible for our outdoor ski and healthy living brands, including Ski, Yoga, Yoga Journal, Warren Miller, Backpacker, Clean Eating, Climbing, S-News, National Park Trips, Better Nutrition, and Outdoor Guides. I bet he really understands this industry. He lives here in Boulder, and he also likes to enjoy recreational activities that include, I quote, fanatical suffering. Please welcome to the stage, John Dorn.
Thank you. It saves me having to introduce myself. Maybe I could tell a few jokes instead. I was actually really perked up there backstage when he talked about turning over a car and setting it on fire, because growing up in Ohio, we used to do that every weekend. Not really, but then of course in Boulder, every car is electric, so finding a car that will actually burn is going to be kind of difficult. Maybe I think you need to find a bus instead, turn over a bus and set that on fire. That would get us on the news tonight. AIM, as you could tell, is deeply invested in the outdoor industry. Some of our brands go back 40 or 50 years, and we really believe in helping the industry continue to grow and to diversify. And a lot of our business is dependent on constant evolution and innovation. And those two things are really what brought us to the conference table on the second floor outside my boss's office about 2 years ago, when we started skunk working the idea of starting an accelerator, which, because we knew nothing about accelerators, seemed like an easy and fun idea at the time. And here we are. Super happy to be here in the company of great partners. We went next to Outdoor Industry Association and to Outdoor Retailer, who, like us, have been in the industry and supporting growth for a long time. We're really lucky to also run into iSlab, which has been a fabulous partner in executing the program. And Holland & Hart couldn't thank them enough for the legal support that they have provided along the way. We are, as Catapult Accelerator, one of the rare accelerators that doesn't ask for anything from the startups that we adopt. There's no part of this in which we say we'll take 5% or 10% or 15% of your company. We are really truly here to leverage our expertise and our media and our marketing and the other assets that OIA can bring to bear and Outdoor Retailer can bring to bear by helping introduce these companies to the outdoor space. Truly here to help them grow and give them a chance to become long-lasting members like us of the industry. Before I get off stage, I just want to sort of also impress on you how important it is for you as an audience to give your energy to these teams tonight. How many of you have been in labor or in a birthing room in a hospital while labor is happening? Maybe about a third of the audience here. So imagine, if you will, that each of these founders is doing the equivalent of having a baby, if you will. They have nurtured their business from the ground up. They have named it. They have dreamed about it. They have high hopes for it. They want it to grow and be successful and outlast them. And what I want you to do is to give them a ton of energy and not do what I did when we had our first child, and my wife is sitting here and she'll remember this, which is I was so damn tired by the time the baby finally came out, even maybe more tired than my wife. That may be a point of contention. But our daughter comes out, and I'm standing there, and the doctor says, "Dad, what is it?" And I was completely struck dumb. I'm like, "What's a baby? Like, were you expecting something different?" And he's like, no, boy or girl. I'm like, oh, of course. So when they bring their babies out, give them a big round of applause, give them a lot of love, and cheer them on, because that's what we're all here to do. Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Thank you, Jonathan. So, in just a moment, we're going to have 3 panelists on stage and me. That means there's going to be 3 very highly qualified people and me. They're going to be asking some questions afterwards. We don't have time to take questions from the crowd, but that's your opportunity to talk to the folks in the back of the room. So first, I'd like to introduce Bruce Dotterer. He is the director of U.S. Softline's data activation. He is a Colorado native. Everybody give him a round of applause. He is the director of data activation at the NPD Group, designing analytic tools to help leading and emerging brands identify opportunities in the sports and outdoor marketplace. Sounds like you're a data nerd. Am I right about that? Yeah, anybody like data nerds? Anybody out there on that stuff? Yeah, good. We need people like that in the world that can do that. I just make up my data. He's a 2017 graduate of the Outdoor Industry Association's Skip Yowell Future Leadership Academy, and his interest in the Catapult program is rooted in the desire to help emerging brands bring a fresh perspective to sports and outdoor industry. When I think of fresh perspectives, I always think of my mirror, where I'm like, I could use a fresh perspective on this. And so please, if you would wave to the crowd like Her Majesty the Queen. Oh, you can tell he has some English roots there. Next up is Molly Labonte. She is the sales director, digital marketplace at the North Face. She creates and implements strategies on how the North Face should emerge with e-commerce marketplaces, such as ones you might have heard of, Amazon, eBay, and Jet. She's a 2016 graduate of the Outdoor Industry Association's Skip Yowell Future Leadership Academy. Did you guys know each other through that? Yeah, afterwards, good. And grew up in Boston. I heard the accent backstage. I couldn't tell if it was Boston or Australia. I always get those confused. They're very similar. And she moved to Denver just last week for North Face's relocation. Welcome her to Colorado. Yes. And she says that the Catapult program startups are important to the outdoor industry. We need to encourage evolution and innovation within our space so that we can enjoy the benefits of working in this great industry long into the future. She loves to ski, that's important here in Colorado, and hiking, and she has a Portuguese water dog named Max, and he, I'm assuming, barks with an accent. And so give us your best rock and roll stoke face, if you would, Molly. Oh, that's pretty good. That could go a little bit longer. You know, oddly enough, that's the same face that I made when I saw Michael Bolton live. I celebrate the guy's entire catalog. And I have a jacket tear from a jacket I got back in 2006. Can you help me with a warranty claim after this? Sure. Okay, let's talk about it later. Next up is Nathan Fay, Director of Colorado's Office of Outdoor Recreation Industry. There he, wow, with panache coming from behind the curtain. Not only a Colorado native, but how many generations, Nathan?
6, as far as I can tell.
6, as far as he can tell.
Records get a little fuzzy after that.
Yeah, so he was here when there was mammoths, or his family was here when there was mammoths and all those things. The glaciation was still happening. He's been recently confirmed as the director of Colorado's Office of Outdoor Recreation Industry. Can we give him a big round of applause for that? Because he's got some big work to do. and served as a deputy director of the OREC office since March, and has been an advisor and a consultant since 2015 to the state. Prior to this role, and this is how I actually know Nathan, he was the regional director at American Whitewater for 12 years and a policy advisor to the Outdoor Alliance. He played a variety of leadership roles before that in the recreation and water world, and that's actually how we got our start. I used to do watershed work, and I can tell you that he knows things about me that are way more embarrassing than my love of Michael Bolton. And that is that. Give them all one big round of applause, please. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate you taking time for this tonight. So, we're down to the final countdown. Are you excited for our folks to come on stage tonight? Yes? I think you can do a little better than that, and I'll tell you why it's going to be important. Because this comes from a noted historian, Jerry Seinfeld, that says, according to most studies, basically people have two largest fears in life, are public speaking, number one, and death, number two. So people would rather be in the coffin than actually giving the eulogy at the end of their days. So we need to give them a bunch of energy, make them feel really comfortable with us, and you can do that by helping me with something called the Omaha cheer. Who's heard of that before? Oh, good. One person has heard it. Then the rest of you are going to get an education. I would not suggest using this at church or maybe a eulogy at least the wrong point. But the idea is to get you up and out of your chairs, so let's start with that. Don't kick your cocktail. And we're going to give these guys, when they come on stage each time, your biggest, best, loudest cheer. Arms waving, throw things if you want, chairs can get tossed, we don't care. Do it all. All right, let's practice. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Omaha!
Oh, Omaha! This isn't the Omaha that you used to get from Payne Manning, right? That was a different cheer. From GEARO, Justine Barone.
And I'm the co-founder and CEO of GEARO. Meet Holly and Caroline. They are best friends and they travel everywhere together. In fact, this weekend they're going to Denver. And like typical Holly and Caroline, they have not booked any of their travel activities. They just decided they want to go mountain biking in Denver. So what do? They type into Google mountain bike rental in Denver, and this is what they see. It is literally insane to think that Holly and Caroline have to call every single one of these shops and ask for pricing, availability, and product details in order to feel confident with their buying decisions. And this is just Denver. It's not even the entire state of Colorado. You can only imagine how frustrated they would be. I know. I experienced this challenge when I tried to rent a paddleboard, and I was so frustrated I didn't even end up going paddleboarding. Now meet Joe. Joe's a local bike shop owner here in Denver, and coincidentally, Joe has bikes available for rent this weekend. Unfortunately, Joe is struggling to connect with millennials like Caroline and Holly, and if he doesn't rent his bikes out this weekend, he loses hundreds of dollars. Not to mention, his operations for his rentals are completely manual, and he does everything on pen and paper. Now imagine a world where Caroline and Holly can go online and book their gear within seconds. Imagine within that same world, Joe receives an email and is able to prepare her rentals before they even hit the store, bringing his customer service to a whole new level. That is what we are all about here at GEARO. We are an outdoor gear rental marketplace and booking platform. On the retailer side, we are streamlining all of the retailers into one platform and increasing their revenue by increasing foot traffic to their shops. We are also streamlining their operations by giving them the tools they need to manage their businesses. And on the consumer side, we're offering a consolidated view of all retailers. And that makes Holly and Caroline very happy because they can spend more time on the trails and less time behind a computer screen. This is the marketplace. We've got sophisticated filtration systems where you can filter by location, products, and dates. And this is a product screen. You can plug in the dates, the times, and book automatically within seconds. And this is actually not GEARO. This is one of our retailers' websites. As you can see, they've embedded a line of our code to show all of their products on their website with automated booking capabilities. And this is the booking platform. This lets our retailers take their operations to a whole new level with inventory management, customer management, and intuitive reports so they can make better forecasting decisions in the future. We relaunched a year ago and ran beta testing for 6 months. Since then, we've gained over 70 retailers to the marketplace and booking platform. We've had over 1,000 transactions run through the platform, and we have over 25,000 Instagram followers. And while we do have competition, no one is exactly like GEARO. We are the only booking platform and marketplace specifically created for outdoor gear rentals. There are booking platforms that were created for other industries. There are also booking platforms that were created for the outdoor industry and segments within the industry, like skis, but they were not also created for bikes. So retailers that have both have to either use 2 systems or have to use pen and paper or Excel. And as far as the retailers go that have rentals and are obviously our competition as well, we plan to make them partners in the future and hope that all of them will be using GEARO. This is an example of one of our top competitors. As you can see, their booking platform's completely outdated, and this gives me a headache to look at. The rental market is hot. In the last year, it increased 25%, and over the next 5 years, it's going to more than double. Not to mention, the retail sales is valued at $140 billion, and we have plans to integrate rent-to-buy programs to increase our retailer foot traffic and revenue even more. Our business model is simple. We take a fee on every transaction that is generated through the marketplace, and that fee varies depending on how the retailer is leveraging GEARO. Our team is awesome. We all share a passion for the outdoors. We also are incredibly intelligent, and we all want to revolutionize the outdoor industry. So if you would like to join us, please find me afterwards. We're always looking for more resources, mentors, and we may be opening an investment round in the near future. Thank you.
Thanks, Justine. So, time for the grilling. How do you feel? Are you ready?
Nervous.
Nervous? Don't be nervous. There's no one up here that can harm you. So I would like to start with one thing. I mean, I love the fact that this is retailer, it's renter, rentee, and then this seems like the differentiation between you and everyone else is this marketplace piece that others aren't able to do. So kudos on finding that as making that your piece. How about talk about a little bit about customer acquisition cost?
Yes, so our customer acquisition costs are $350 per retailer, and our lifetime value is $15,000. That's based off of a 15-year span.
Cool. Seems pretty reasonable to me.
Yes.
That's good. All right, what do we got, panel? Who would like to grill first?
I'll go first. First of all, great job. My world in my own career is around marketplace, so super interesting concept to me, and definitely the rental market is, you know, a great one for the outdoor industry that a lot of brick and mortars are struggling to, you know, keep up with foot traffic, and this is a great way to get people indoors. I think one thing about marketplaces in particular is reviews, which kind of ties into loyalty and getting people to want to come back, and building off of that, getting more consumers and retailers in that way. Can you talk a little bit more about your consumer loyalty on both sides of the retailer and the consumer?
Yes, absolutely. We do have the capability to review all products, and the goal is actually to be able to incorporate this rent program for brands. So all of these retailers will join GEARO, and then brands can also join GEARO as a upper level tier. And the brands can put on their websites Demo Now or Rent Now, and basically connect consumers to retailers, and then the consumers can rate the gear that they've rented or share it or book it automatically. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice job, Justine.
Thanks.
Great idea. This is really fun. You mentioned that you have 70 retailers committed, and estimates put the specialty outdoor retail space at about 2,000 doors across the country. I'm curious if there's a data point, a data set, or a database that you wish you had access to as you try to scale up from those 70 shops to across the country.
Can I ask for a question here? Are you trying to sell your own services on stage here?
No, not at all.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
It's a data nerd question about data, so.
Yes.
Even just a data point, Justine, just something that you wish you knew that you could approach from a numbers standpoint.
I get questions all the time on what percentage of the industry is bikes, snowboards, skis, and I haven't been able to come across that statistic, so that would be very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you've said in some of our offline conversations about, your original pain point with this was a stand-up paddleboard and not even being able to rent something the first day and kind of gave up on it, and that it turned into that. The pain point for me is watching one of your first slides is seeing all those phone numbers on screen and being like, you have to call all of those? Like, yes, archaic, okay? And so I thought that was really interesting, and you recognized, I think, early on that the stand-up paddleboard was maybe not the lowest hanging fruit as far as the largest opportunity for the rental market. So some understanding there of where to go first. All right, Nathan, what do you got? And if you don't have a song, you have to sing us a poem about outdoor recreation.
That's a different show, Tony.
Tony.
So nice job.
Thank you.
I'm curious. I've a couple questions, so maybe 3 parts.
Okay.
First part would be, what's the largest size reservation that you've managed through GEARO? In terms of group size?
Probably $800. It was a high-end bike order, actually.
So a handful of individuals, we're not talking 20, 25 group size reservations.
No. I think there might have been 2 people.
Can you talk a little bit about how you envision this program being useful for youth engagement programs, college outdoors programs, something that's scalable for larger groups?
I am so glad you asked that question because it's something I don't touch on enough. We are actually working with many nonprofits throughout Colorado, and we're basically working with our retailers who will have the option to opt in to discounted programs with them, and then they can essentially send all their members to these local shops and say, hey, you get a discount here. So it really helps the community from a local buying perspective, but it also helps the nonprofits and the kids and the colleges. So yeah,
Great.
It's exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else got something that you need to know? That's how good your presentation was.
Great.
And he came up with those really quick, and he was like, a poem, oh God. Please not a poem today. Put your hands together, please, one more time for Justine. Thank you so much. Polished and professional on stage, wasn't she? So, are you ready for your next Omaha? Get yourselves warmed up a little bit here, get things going. This next one is really close to my heart. Actually, it's not my heart, it's actually closer to my knee. Because I figured out this weekend that if there's Rochambeau, rock, paper, scissors, there's a version of this for mountain bikes. It's called rock, handlebar, knee. And knee never wins that battle. Because I couldn't get out of my pedals quick enough. I was in a pair of clipless pedals and trying to slide out as a rock came up close and couldn't do it. What you're going to see on stage next is a potential solution for all of your knee pains. Not all of your knee pains, I'm overselling it. Are you ready to give a big Omaha cheer from Hustle Bike Labs, Mr. Craig Payne?
My name is Craig Payne, and welcome to Hustle Bike Labs. I've got a story to share with you all, but you gotta promise me not to tell my wife. She will kill me. Or worse, take my bikes away. So on the count of 3, everybody say, we promise. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. All right, let's grip it and rip it. On a summer day in Moab, my life changed. So there I am, riding one of the iconic trails in this magical landscape. Adrenaline, redlining, but the biggest challenge is yet ahead. The trail is becoming narrower. The canyon wall to my left and to my right, a cliff, the Colorado River, several hundred feet below. I'm riding that thin line between confidence and fear. What happens next nearly kills me. I'm approaching a rock garden with too much speed, bounce off a boulder, lose my balance. All I need to do is put my feet on the ground. But my feet are locked to the pedals, and I cannot react fast enough. I find myself rolling, falling, and grabbing onto a boulder as I hang from the cliff's edge. So what happened? The difference between life and death was the pedal in that moment. Let's look at that. The pedal is the fundamental connection between you and the bike. It defines the way you ride and how your bike interacts with the trail. There are two types of pedals. First, we have the flat pedal, the standard platform with pins that we all have a love-hate relationship with, and some pretty nice shin scars to remind us of that. Also, we have the confusedly named clipless, where your feet are locked to the pedal. Let that marinate for a moment as you're flying down a canyon wall. The rider must choose either safety or performance. The choice is the problem. This is today's biggest debate in mountain biking. Do you ride flats or do you ride clipless? Two ends of the spectrum, loose or locked. There is nothing in between. We want to take those attributes of the flats and the clipless and bring them together. Bring them together. Let me introduce to you the rare earth metal pedal system. Sounds like a rock band, doesn't it? AKA the rim pedal system. We have created a patent-pending solution that captures the connection of a clipless, but the freedom of a flat. Our revolutionary innovation utilizes neodymium magnets. Those little guys right there. They are the strongest magnets in the world, also known as rare earth magnets. We've also created a cleat that works with these magnets. With the magnets, the cleat utilizes the magnets utilizing SPD shoes that are already on the market. With these magnets, you can adjust your feet on the fly, move them forward, backwards, or side to side. The longer you stay connected, the stronger they become. But the crazy thing about it is they're just as easy to get out of as when you first jump on the bike. But when you push and pull on the pedals, that's where the force is, a connection to the bike. We want to enhance the rider's experience by increasing confidence, therefore boosting performance with a safer option. People are looking for a new solution. After surveying over 100 mountain bikers of all different riding levels, 50% were not satisfied with their current pedal options. Almost 90% were open to or interested in another option. Studies have shown that mountain bikers are cooler than the average population. I'm just joking, I made that statistic up. In the United States last year, the US bicycle market was a $6 billion plus industry, with mountain bike sales capturing over $1.4 billion. Mountain bikers alone spent nearly $50 million on high-end performance pedals. And that number is growing at an average of 3% a year over the last 5 years. But what is also growing in this adventurous sport, the community of this adventurous sport, towns and cities across the country are dedicating resources to building trail systems in and around their neighborhoods and seeing an amazing boost to their economy as well as the health sector. Our vision at Hustle Bike Labs is to disrupt the pedal industry, building a team and a culture that lives and breathes the core values of hustle, the ABCs of life: adventurous, brave, and creative. We aim to be a digital business, teaming with e-commerce partners and infiltrating various segments of the markets, including collaborations with shoe brands, e-bikes, cross bikes, stationary spin bikes, and as well as athletes and influencers. But our vision does not end there. We believe in building a trusted brand that continues to innovate, but more importantly, gives back. I'm grateful that I can finish this story and share this solution. I'm not alone. There are many others like me. We believe the rim pedal system will enhance the rider's experience by increasing confidence, therefore boosting performance with a safer option. I'm Craig Payne, founder of Hustle Bike Labs. Thank you for listening to my story.
Yeah! Now, I can tell you firsthand that Craig, 100 times out of 100, would rather be on a mountain bike than on this stage. Am I correct on that?
Yes, sir.
Did he nail it, though, today?
Thank you.
So I've been trying to get him to put down that piece of paper for 2 weeks now. Put it down. Stomp on that damn thing real quick for me, because you're done with your presentation up here, buddy. Yeah. If you didn't catch the nuance with his entry song there, It's the End of the World by REM. Double meaning there. Thinking coming out here, end of the world, and almost falling off that cliff, the end of the world. But he did it. And REM, rare earth metal pedals. So creative guy, that's the ABCs right there. So I really like the fact that you pointed out $50 million going to high performance pedals from our mountain bikers out there. So there's a huge market for you to capture just in that. You talked about putting these on stores' shelves in spring of 2020. So I'd love to know a little bit about why you're the person to do this, what your background is a little bit, and then what the rest of your team looks like that can make that happen in basically a year.
This is not my first business. I was a partner in another business, a successful one. We built multiple businesses, and we sold the entirety in 2016, and then that's when I started focusing on hustle, building the team. One of my business partners, Parker, good friend, good person, brings a lot to the team. He's been in the industry, the mountain bicycling industry for 15 plus years, and just a rad dude, good person.
And made in the USA, Parker is.
Yes. He is made in the USA.
And we don't want to know personally about how you were made here in the USA. There's videos online for it. So what do we got, panel?
Great job, Craig.
Thank you.
Really innovative product, really fun to think about kind of the flexibility, safety, comfort, and performance with this. You mentioned the $50 million for the kind of the addressable market for mountain biking. Can you talk a bit about how, being on shelves in 2020, what's going to be your first steps to start grabbing market share within that $50 million market, knowing that SPD's been out there for a long time, Crank Brothers been out there for a long time. How do you kind of make inroads with those established names?
Probably through influencers, getting some beta testing, some product testers, and just opening people's eyes to the beauty of the product, bringing those two worlds together. Ironically, the flat pedal market has about 60% of the pedal market, which was shocking to me because I thought clipless would dominate that. But that's good news for us. Is that shares with us that there's a lot of people that ride that thin line.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Hi, great job.
Thank you.
So I'm actually curious to know a little bit more about your manufacturing process. You've obviously designed them. thinking about product testing or maybe have done some product testing. I'd love to hear about that and how it's gone. And then also, where are you making them? How are you sourcing the pedals?
I'm actually writing the second prototype as we speak. The third prototype is in the works in Oregon. The manufacturing end of it, there's still a lot I have to learn there because that is a crazy maze. But I have some good mentors that are taking me through that maze. Our goal, our dream is to have a Made in America product. In the near future, that might be difficult, but the ultimate goal is to be made here in America. And I strongly believe that we can do that, build a manufacturing company in Colorado, as well as go into other markets and start building that team and seeing that dream come true. So, thank you.
So I'm one of those bikers that has a hybrid set of pedals on my bikes, right? Flats and SPDs.
Nice.
I think you're onto something.
Thank you.
So I have a whole slew of questions, but we get really detailed. I want to know about maintenance. I want to know about bearings.
I want you to keep him on stage as long as you want because he's suffering right now. Suffering, bring it. No, he's doing great.
Well, so here's my thought, right? So my office works with Colorado brands and manufacturers, and I really think that you're onto something. So I hope that we can continue to have a conversation, because I would like my office to help amplify what you have for the market on national and global markets. So pick that piece of paper up. I don't think you're done with it yet. There's going to be more time to practice your pitch, but really nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Those are the sort of connections we're hoping to see come out of this tonight, really resonating with somebody on the panel, so excellent job there. Any other questions from you guys, panels? You want? You got time if you want.
Thank you very much.
All right, I'm just going to ask you a few personal questions just to drag this out for you, Greg. I wouldn't do
Tony
that to you.
for pony.
There's always that you can go back to. Big round of applause, please, for Craig Payne.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take that with you.
That way. Thank you.
All right, we're down to our final one. Do you have one more big Omaha cheer in you? All right, good. Just get ready for it. It's a couple of big deep breaths there. Everybody's heard this term outdoorsy, right? Heard that? I finally decided that it's just better for me to be indoorsy. And so if you know Backcountry Access and all they try to do, I'm starting a new nonprofit if you'd like to make some pledges tonight. It's called Front Country Access. A lot of cable TV, movies, popcorn, hydrogenated oils. It's not going to help with your longevity in this world, but we'll have fun while we're here. All right, our final presenter, get on your feet for me if you would, please. Feet, plural, good. His name is Jonathan Ballesteros, and he's here with Geyser Systems. Let him hear it.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Catapult staff. How's everyone doing tonight? Awesome, great. Well, thank you so much for coming. And for those of you who are watching this on video, thank you so much for joining. How's about we just kick it off with a wild story? You guys ready? Yeah. Awesome. Well, our hero's journey starts a couple years ago. I'm quitting my corporate job. I'm selling everything I own. And I decide to do what I love, which is bringing great people together, creating epic expeditions, and exploring the world. How do I do this? I go to Australia, cross the pond, and buy this camper van. I lived in that for 1 year. This is where our company started, while living in the back of this van. Now, it was not really a lonely journey because I got quickly adopted by this family called the Troop Carriers of Australia. And in our family, we address each other as legends. Oh, mate, you're a legend. And a couple months into my trip, something really funny happened. One of these legends decides to set me up on a blind date, right? And it was over brunch. And on the morning of the blind date, I wake up late. Oh my gosh, I'm in a rush. This date's about to happen in 15 minutes. And what's worse is that I just came from the Australian outback. I haven't showered for 5 days. I smelt like a burning dumpster, and all I've got was this bottle of water to wash me off. So there I am, I've got a rag, pour it in the rag, rinse myself off, pour some more, rinse off. And that's when the question dawned on me. What happens if this rag was a sponge and there was a tube from this sponge over to this bottle? Because let me tell you, that moment, it was cold, it was miserable, and I was thinking, man, getting dirty sucks. And that's our shared reality. How many of you love to camp? Raise your hands. Yes. Well, me too. And you know what? Being outside means that we're going to get a little sweaty and dirty. And here's the problem. That grime, it distracts us from the things that we love and want to connect with, such as our activity, or just connecting with nature and a sunset, or even connecting with our fellow campers in our base camp. And so, you know, the thing is that we have very limited solutions when it comes to this thing about being stinky. Like, baby wipes? Really? Is this the best we got? Seriously, guys. There are a couple solutions out there. Camping showers, the Helio Nemo, which requires you to continuously pump as you're washing yourself, and then the rinse kit, which after 6 minutes, you have to drive all the way back home, hook it up to your hose line, turn on your hose, and then fill it up, as well as charge the balloon inside of your rinse kit. Now, these are really impractical, but we're going to compare them against two important features: the weight of the product when full of water, and then the amount of time it takes to heat the water in the container. Let's go ahead and start off with the Helio foot pump. It's never going to heat the water, and it weighs up to 45 pounds. The camping shower takes 2 to 3 hours to heat all of that water, and it weighs up to 45 pounds. Rinse kit, we're doing a little bit better. 30 to 90 minutes to heat that water, and it still weighs 35 pounds. But the thing is that these solutions are still impractical. Why? Well, they've got one problem. We still need more water. What for? Well, we can still clean our pan and our dishes and our muddy four-legged friends and our mountain bike. And most importantly, we've got a full camp of family and people that we still got to clean. So the problem is much bigger than the need for a hot shower. If you pay close attention to a base camp, we need this container, 7 gallons, to clean everything and everyone. We need to make the most of every drop of water. So go back to Australia, right? I'm in the back of this shed and tinkering around, 6 months, 6 rounds of prototypes. And at each prototype, I got some really important feedback from customers about the features that were really important to them. We took the final design to the Australian outback and we pressure tested it because I wanted to discover what were the weakest parts of our design. And we took all of that learning, and I'm really excited. Finally, we bring to you the Geyser system. This is going to now let you clean yourself or your gear with less than 1 gallon of water. It's great. Think of this as your multi-tool for water. It makes water convenient. And this product is safe and easy enough for a kid to use. Setting it up is pretty simple. All you gotta do is just open this container. I use this as a way to store my scrubs, which you'll see in action in a little bit. Just push this in here. You pour in the water in this container right here. And then you turn on the pump or the heating element that's inside the Geyser system. Now, some of you are probably thinking, wait a second, hold on, a gallon of water? What can I clean with that? So, we're gonna put this through the ultimate test. You guys ready? Yeah. Awesome. Let's start off with 5 gallons of mud. And mud is not the only thing that sticks around with Mother Nature. We're also gonna add 5 gallons of sunscreen. And for those of you who are a little festive, 4 bags of holly powder, why not? Our secret sauce is a patented technology that's going to deliver the exact amount of water that you need exactly where you need it. And this is backed up with a pumping algorithm that's operating very similar to our heart. The more water you need, the faster the heart of the geyser is going to operate. Our technology puts us in a superior position relative to our competitors. Down there in the corner, we're 11 pounds when full, and it only takes 5 to 35 minutes to heat the water in the geyser. To heat it would require a variety of different 12-volt power systems that you can choose from, but my favorite way is by using your gas stove. This is a jet boil. You can get a hot shower ready by boiling this amount of water and filling it up here in the geyser, and then topping off the rest with cold water. The boiling water plus the cold water equate to a 95-degree hot shower ready in 5 minutes. We've got different colored scrubs so that you can easily distinguish which one's yours, which one's your campmate's, and which one's for the dishes. People want our product. Kickstarter campaign, we exceeded goal, $62,000, and that was also only limited to Americans and Australians only. That got quickly a lot of attention from camper van rental companies, which is a little surprising. But here's Overland Discovery. They've got a fleet of Jeeps that allow their renters to go out and camp in the backcountry, and they've outfitted their Jeeps with our Geyser system. From there, Touareg, the country's premier Mercedes conversion van company, found us and wants to partner with us. We're excited to join with them at Overland Expo this weekend and debut our product at one of the largest conferences in the country for overlanding. And we're really excited to be part of an upcoming TV show, The Lost Frontier, in which we helped a team traverse the Arctic Circle for 45 days. Our go-to-market strategy is right now doing great. We're currently making some great wins and experiencing a tremendous amount of demand in the overlanding segment. In case you don't know what overlanding is, think of it as a style of camping in which you equip your vehicle with all this great stuff so that you can be out in the middle of the backcountry in the most remote locations for as long as you want. They especially need to make the most of their water, considering that they're very far away and off the grid. Once we establish a strong brand and presence in this segment, we're going to continue growing into some other segments that really need this product. For example, electronic music festivals. Think of Burning Man, 7 days in the desert, need a shower, that's for sure. Mountain bikers and camper vans. We cannot forget about this upcoming movement of van lifers, millennials loving to take selfies on the side of the road with their dog. And speaking of taking selfies with your dog, interesting fact about camper vanning, 40% of those who go out in a camper van bring their dog. So we've got to also find a way to clean our four-legged friends, right? Well, we created an accessory that we think dog lovers are going to love. This is the Geyser Pup Scrub. You plug it to your geyser and it allows you to clean your dog with less than 1 gallon of water. We think people are going to love this, especially if they want to clean their dog after playing in the park and before getting into their car and getting it all dirty. Or if you're just tired of washing your dog in your house, you can clean your dog outside. From there, we're going to continue growing into other really exciting segments, such as primitive camping, anglers, and hunters. And we want to give to them something that they really need, a mini geyser, which we plan on launching in 2021. It's going to be the most efficient battery-operated shower that you could put in the palm of your hand or throw it in your backpack. We're really excited about this really cool technology being applied in the smallest form factor possible. Altogether, market size is 102 million, and we're really excited to see this grow because think about it. There's a lot of people out there who don't enjoy the great outdoors because they don't like getting dirty. Well, we think that this product is really going to introduce to the industry a whole new group of campers who are going to now be buying new tents, new sleeping bags, and new gear, right? A new lift for our outdoor recreation industry. And for that reason, we are going to have a great chance to win the 2020 Gear of the Year award and bring a great reward home that we're really excited about. Pricing is really simple. We got a silver, gold, and platinum pricing structure. The silver is the geyser system without a heating element. The gold and the platinum are both geysers with heating elements as well as some important accessories that really enhance your experience. I'm really proud of our rockstar team. We've got a killer marketing team and award-winning engineers, and our IP lawyers are top-notch. Conley & Rose, one of the top 5 boutique IP law firms in the state of Texas. And as for me, I'm a little bit more than just an Australian tourist. I built a great product, I built a great team, and now I'm gonna tell you where I'm gonna take that product and team and bring that together to make a great company. Straight out of college, I had the honor to be an operations manager at Dell's flagship desktop factory. It was the factory of the year in 2001 for our country. I was responsible for 55 people, morning shift, 23,000 computers a day. From that, I took my background in engineering and developed radio frequency generators, 5 of them. And this is one of the 5 that I'm talking about. I was a lead engineer for these design projects, meaning that I took an idea and was responsible for getting it through prototyping, design verification, process validation, creating a supply chain, and sustaining all of that so that we can successfully commercialize, launch, sustain, and refurbish this product. And after getting my MBA, I decided to take my passion to marketing out to the operating table as a product manager for Stryker Neurovascular, meaning I was responsible for solving the most complex technical issues in stroke therapy and also responsible for training neurosurgeons how to remove clot from people's brains. All of this together speaks to one important passion. I love bringing together people to make great things happen. And so tonight, something great I'm about to announce with you, and I'm super excited. You are the first ones to know and to receive a public announcement about how our team went to Seattle to be a part of REI's Innovation Series. We were at REI's headquarters and pitched directly to their buying team. And guess what? They love the Geyser system. We're currently creating a deal, and you're gonna see us on the shelves of REI in the spring of 2020. It's really outstanding how much we have accomplished in such a short period of time, a little bit more than 1.5 years. Currently, we're seeking strategic partnerships and people who want to be part of a growing business and really change the game for the water. Geyser Systems, we are your leading innovators of all things water. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'd love to receive any questions from the audience.
Come on over here, sir. First of all, fantastic job. This guy is obviously a professional tinkerer and a polished presenter, is he not? Mm-hmm. Yes, knows what he's doing on stage. Second, as a personal note, I'm really excited that you talked about Australia because I have tried everything to really work my brain in different ways. I couldn't speak any of the languages I've tried so far. Hawaiian was the worst, and I said South Pacific country, language I can nail. And I've been doing it. I've been going to Outback Steakhouse for the last 2 years, and I'm proud to say I am now fluent in Australian. Mate, I knew I could get that out if I tried again. If you want to join me, Louisville Outback Steakhouse, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. where we practice as a group. It's a great tribe of people. Don't actually show up at the Outback Steakhouse at 7 p.m. one. That's not happening. First of all, I think what you've put together is beautiful. I really love the fact that you have such a great background in the engineering world and you can do that. And as most of us know, engineers usually don't come up and present like this on stage, do they? Way more bar charts, R-square valued, all that stuff. Thank you for sparing us from all that. But I think you have a great balance between being able to share your message and actually create something that you can test out and fix on your own. So that's lovely to see. Mm-hmm. Enough from me. How about you guys?
Hi, great job, very impressive. It seems like you're well underway. You have manufacturing figured out and it's happening, and now your distribution as well. Congratulations, it's great. And also very good presentation. I think the product, it definitely probably appeals to all of us in the room that love to go exploring outside and like hot water, get cold easily, sounds great. I'm wondering if you have thought about other use cases for this outside of kind of outdoor exploration, like military or places in the world that suffer from drought or not being able to get fresh water. Is that something that you've explored or considered?
Yes, absolutely. Our team has a very clear mission. Today, our products redefine adventure. Tomorrow, we redefine what it means to live on planet Earth. We have 2.3 billion people who live in water-stressed conditions, highly water-stressed. And we know that a lot of that is because of the exorbitant water demand that exists. And so we want to bring this technology abroad and help resolve those issues. We can install this technology easily on the water wells that maybe, let's say, in Ethiopia are existing. And each scrub saves 1,500 gallons of water for the life of the one scrub. Think about how much more water can be used to supplement the food table in Ethiopia. And here at home, you know, we're not just focused going global. We also look at a lot of situations that, you know, water accessibility is really difficult. For example, the homeless in the corners of our streets in Los Angeles, we can bring to them a little bit more dignity. Or wildland firefighters in Carr, or, you know, floods from Hurricane Harvey and earthquake that may be occurring. If you look at a natural disaster shelter, you're going to see a lot of people who are not showering regularly. And the current solution right now is this big shower trailer that we intend to renovate and totally disrupt with using our technology inside of a shower trailer. And we're planning to also have a little bit of fun with that as a marketing tool as well. So, you know, we could bring that to a marathon or to a mud runner and help people try our product. But when a natural disaster or somebody in need really needs water and take a shower, we plan on taking that trailer out to them as well. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Nice job, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Really, really fun to see this thing come to life. And you seem like a thoughtful guy, not just from a product perspective, but also the impact in a larger humanity perspective as well. And I'm curious to hear your perspective on kind of the growth of your company. Now you've got REI lined up, and I'm going to kind of read from some data that I have from a recent HBR article, right? So Harvard Business Review says that selling new and innovative products requires 35% more time meeting with customers throughout the sales cycle. And the article goes on to say that people with a growth mindset, those who are eager to learn, are more successful selling innovative products like this. Have you given any thought about how you might attract people with a growth mindset towards Geyser Systems to work with you to kind of help grow the company, kind of attract that leading edge thinker?
That's a really good question, and I'm really grateful for being part of this accelerator, because the accelerator taught me how to effectively and scientifically experiment with these sprints in different segments and really focus on the most successful segment. And we validated the overlanding segment to be the ones that are just, yes, we need this product because of the weight penalty that all this additional water brings to their vehicle. If they get stuck in the middle of nowhere, all that weight is now causing a greater challenge to get them out. But to elaborate on what you are speaking of, what we've also, I guess what I've learned from this accelerator program is that there's two different kinds of people when they see this product. There's those that are really solutions mindset. They're really positive, early adopters, and they see this. And then there's problem solvers. We're thinking maybe from a fear-based mindset. And so we've experienced those four segments to be the most solutions mindseted, positive thinkers who really see value for this enhancing their life. And that for that reason, we decided those are going to be our four beachhead segments. Yes. Does that answer your question? Awesome. Thank you.
Well done. And again, I have a tendency to go right into the mechanics of the product. So I have two quick questions for you.
Okay.
Do you need to use potable water in the system, or can you use raw water?
So in our instructions for use, we say use potable water. But we love it when people take our product and do the worst that they can to it. So that TV show that I was referring to, the people in that show they couldn't bring potable water with them in that major expedition. They had to use creek water. And I continue to use that geyser today. It continues to work even in light of the fact that it was used for 45 days with creek water and was not a problem for them at all.
So clearly it could hold up to the trials of Mr. Tony Paponi here.
That is a new condition that we would have to introduce.
No guarantees, my friend.
Are you unaware of the fact that I can hear what you're saying? Both because you're right here and it's amplified also?
I'll keep that in mind. There's also a lot of plastics in the product, and I'm wondering if you are thinking about ways of integrating recycled plastic sources or reducing use of plastics as a single source. It's a big issue in the industry. I'm wondering if you're engaged in those conversations.
Yes, that is a very big problem, and we are actually farther ahead than most. So Tim Botcher from Genesis Tech is the lead mechanical designer, and he's actually a keynote speaker for a variety of large organizations such as NASA to address this specific problem. And he's right now working with a key supplier for an interesting company that just started and has proven that they can take biomaterial, such as garbage and waste, and recycle that into a plastic resin that is equivalent to ABS plastic, which is the current material that we use today. And he's taken that with our existing plastic supplier and has confirmed that we can take this new developed resin that uses recycled byproduct from our daily activities, and we can introduce that into our plastic mold today, and we would like to do that as soon as possible so we can verify and validate the new improvement in the design and minimize our exposure in plastics. I'm really proud of Tim, outstanding engineer, one of the leaders and most forward-thinking engineers that I've ever met. Really honored to have him on board.
Fantastic, thank you. I look forward to calling you a Colorado company as well someday.
We're making our move thanks to this accelerator, so yes.
Any other questions from you all?
Whatever happened with the blind date?
Yeah. So, okay, well, while we're talking about it, we'll get to the very end of our exciting story. So here in the audience, I have my girlfriend, Lauren. Would you like to stand up? Yeah?
I don't have a choice.
And so, I'm off the market, so is she. and so, yeah, we're really happy to be together.
She was not the blind date.
No, she was not part of the blind date. But more importantly, really excited what we're bringing together. So, nature and making a difference in the world is something that's very important to us. And, from our home, we're bringing to the world a philosophy of consciousness, as well as the triple bottom line. Being great with your people, bringing profit for your investors, and being great to the planet. And it's something that fits in line, and we're bringing it from our home to all of y'all. And we're really excited to make Colorado our home really soon. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can tell you from personal experience, he has a gigantic heart, and I know he would talk to you about social impact all day long, but I think they're entering a great part in recreation, all the opportunity that's there, and I know they will transition into doing good things with their product in other parts of the world. That wraps up our presentations, but that doesn't mean you have to go home tonight. And if I could leave you with one final word of wisdom, I had a really different mindset about starting small businesses in Colorado before tonight. I had heard the statistics that 8 out of 10 businesses fail overall. So my plan for 2020 was to start 10 businesses and hope that 2 of them made it. And should I do it again? 10 businesses and hope 2 of them made it. Oh, good. An immutable crowd, I appreciate that. But now I'm thinking about accelerator programs. So if you're interested, please hang around. Darcy and David will be here from the Ice Lab at Western. You can talk to them about all your questions. All of our founders will be hanging out, as well as our panelists. They'll probably hang out for a cocktail or 10. And please hang out also and meet some of our sponsors. I'll tell you tonight, not here with us unfortunately is Moose Jaw Mountaineering, the Outdoor Industry Association, outdoor retailer. They couldn't make it this evening, but they are huge partners in this process. And John Dorn and Sharon Halton from AIM will still be hanging around, I hope, tonight. And Sam Edwards and Mike Dill from Holland and Hart. So if you want to talk to any of them or any of our panelists, please do. The founders will be out there in just a minute at their booths. We're going to take a quick photo on stage and celebrate the end of this accelerator program for them. And some good news for you is this will probably get the best Omaha cheer of all time, is our first drink tonight is on the house. What do you think about that? So go grab yourself a drink. Thank you for being here and for supporting entrepreneurship here in Colorado. Have a great night.